Now we're going to take a look at how to trim structural steel members to one another. We do that by using the trim extend command. Before I start this command, the model you see on your screen, it looks very similar to a model from other lessons. However, there are some differences here. So do make sure you open up the correct model. This is called steel frame trim and can be found in your working files folder. I'm going to begin by zooming up on a few of these intersections. And we will notice that we do have some cleanup work to do. This needs to be trimmed back, along with this. In fact, we have several joints that need to be trimmed. So I'm going to start with this one here. I am going to go into the trim extend command. Property Manager opens. We have 4 different corner types. It defaults to end trim, but we also have the miter and the 2 butt joints. I'm going to leave it at end trim. It's now asking for bodies to be trimmed. The body I want trimmed is this body here. I want this body trimmed around this body. So I'm going to go ahead and select this body. Going back to the Property Manager and moving down the Property Manager, it's asking for trimming boundary. Looks like I have a couple choices here, face, plane, or bodies. I'm going to leave it at bodies, select inside of this window, go back out to the screen, and select this body, and then close out of the command. Now this is the result of the settings in the trim extend command. Notice we do have some run over here, and that's because of the orientation of this structural member. So let's go back into the command, edit the feature, and instead of using the end trim option, I'm going to go with a end miter option. And take a look what happens at the preview. This is removed because it's mitered back to this corner, along with this one. This is not what we were looking for. So I'm going to put it back to the end trim, and then go back out to the model and talk about this. Obviously, this would not be an easy cut, and this is not something that would be desirable. So how do we fix this? What we should have done for the trimming boundary, instead of selecting bodies, we should have selected face plane. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Face plane, go back out to the model, select this face, rotate the model, select this face, and close out of the command. And notice how it cleaned up that intersection. Exactly what we were looking for. I'm going to go back to a diametric view. What we've done so far is cleaned up one intersection through the one trim extend command. Even though we could go into the trim extend command multiple times for each one of these intersections that need to be trimmed, let's see if we can do all of this trimming within one trim extend command. So I'm going to go back to the Property Manager and delete this feature. Go back to the trim extend command. I'm going to leave the corner type at end trim. The bodies to be trimmed, that's going to be all of these parallel structural members. And the trimming boundary, we're going to leave it at face because we've seen the result of selecting bodies. Leaving this at face, I'm going to select inside of this window, zoom up to this back corner. I'm going to go ahead and select this face here, zoom out a little bit, select this face, rotate the model, and then select this face and this face, and close out of the command. Now as we zoom up on these different intersections, you're going to see we do have the correct results. So everything worked out here and looks great. Now I do have one last item I want to talk about. I am going to open the trim extend command. I want to talk about all of these flags that you see. I'm going to zoom up on this upper right hand corner, and you can move these flags by putting the cursor above the flag and holding down the left mouse button and dragging. I'm going to move this flag, and there we go. Now this flag here says discard, this flag here says keep. If I zoom up in this corner, what it's asking is, do I want to discard this little piece that you see here? And we do. So this discard is correct. This flag here says keep. This is also correct. But every once in a while you will run into a situation where the trimming did not trim correctly and these flags are incorrect. So just to try this out, to change this from keep to discard, we simply click inside of the flag and it changed it to discard, and you can see the image on the screen go faint. Obviously we want to keep this, so I'm going to click again and put it back to keep. Let's go back to diametric view. And this concludes our lesson on trimming.